Welcome to episode 5 of our playthrough of Downfall, Conquest of the Third Reich. So, last episode, we watched as the Soviets completely obliterated both the 4th Romanian and the 8th Italian. After a very risky move of mine for the East Front, where I took a gamble where I thought I could save the 4th Romanian, and we rolled terribly. But now it is time for the Westerns. Let's see what order shakes out. Everything comes down. Reach into our cup of action orders. This is the random element that kind of helps with single play, solo play. And we pull up more Soviet attacking. He's got the 4 here, he's got the 4 here. So he can really press. So, the Westerners do not have a order in their planning box, which I've showed you before. I think I'm going to go ahead and take it. And you might say, well, does it make sense to put recruit in the planning box when you already got one on the track as well? Remember, these do have dual side for the Soviets and the Americans, and it can serve as either a mechanized or a recruit. We're going to go, and you can choose, when you put it in the planning box, you haven't committed to either side, so you can just put it in your box, and then when it's time to do it, you can flip it either side. So we're going to go ahead and spend 1 on that. So our initiative goes up 1, 27. Now when you're doing this, and what I like to do is not just think of the thing I'm putting in the planning box, but my next move as well, because obviously I get to go again, because I'm still the lowest guy here. But before you put something in the planning box, see if you're going to lose initiative or something with your next order. The Soviets will get to go before me because of the one I'm planning is going to put us right on top of there, and the Soviets, whatever's on the bottom goes next. But I don't mind competing with the Soviets a little bit because they're not my direct competition. It's these guys, and this falls well in that range. So I'll show you what we're going to pick. And it's the Westerns initiative again, because they're so low on the board. And we're going to find out what we got next. So. And we pull up, there's one for the OKH. That's probably good, because they had only kind of that thing to go on, and they need something else to start appearing, because they're just sitting there taking all the abuse. So there is a need for me to get some recruiting, get more units on the board. Armoring up those units and things, so it might be in my interest to take the planning recruit order I have. And there's also an interest in taking the strategic warfare and win this Battle of Malta that's right below it here, right there. However, we have our 4th British right here, and we have the Afrika Korps out in the open. And this game is a race. If we wait around too much doing a whole bunch of logistical stuff, frankly, if I'm the OK West, I don't care. I can sit here and just camp out all day. It's the Westerners to lose. So if the Westerners do decide on an Africa strategy, they need to get to it. I want to press this guy, even though it's not the greatest attack on the world. I think I can manage something and force him to either retreat and get this action in the way. So we are going to take 3-2 move. It will cost us 9 initiative. 27 plus 9 would be 36. Oops, I can't manipulate. Tweezers. And with the deployment phase of the order, or the movement phase, whatever you want to call it, and just in case this 5th Panzer decides to get cute against my 1 pip 1st British, I'm going to go ahead and move him back into these mountains here. And cost all my movement, because right now it's snowed, so the mountains are difficult terrain when it's the winter. And so it uses up all your points, but that's a safe move. He can't get past me because of the zones of control. So I have no problem there. I just don't want to be caught in the open here while he's tucked away on this hill. Okay, with that out of the way, it is time to put some pressure on. So we're going to just move into here. We've got the Afrika Korps in the open, and we have air superiority on. So this is a battle we should do. Now, I don't want him to just retreat. I want to get some damage on him somehow, some way. So I'm going to bring in an armor brigade, and remember the weather in Egypt is always fair, so this is going to be a fair. It's going to be a +2. That's going to use in this battle. Well, the West has an answer too. The German Westerners have an answer, and that is to play like tanks for the same thing. +2 is going to end up canceling each other out. Let's see how this goes. British have an inherent strength of 4. They have no flanking attackers. They are an armored unit, in a non-German armored unit in fair, so that'll bring them up to 5. There's no elite badges. They are a Western unit, so that will bring him up to 6, and that will be his strength. The Germans are at 2. Come back. 2. And they are German, so they get 3, and they have no other bonuses. We're going to be rolling on the 3 table. 3 column, that is. For die roll modifiers, the cards are a wash. 0. There's no event card die bonus. The weather is fair, so there's no minuses there. We do have air superiority, so we're going to get a +2, or for the other side. So +2, 3 with a +2 die roll modifier. Here we have our 3 column. Not the greatest column to be on, but with this +2, I think we can manage something. Bam! Bad rolls again. Okay, 4, but this is going to be salvaged by our modifier to a 6. All right, hey, we like it. 0 to us, or the Westerners. 2, wait a minute, wrong column. 3 column. We're going to take 1. There's a 2 here, and there's a little G next to it. Now, G, if you look over here, it says on turns 1 through 6, the defender, if everything's German, you reduce the hits by 1. So it's going to end up being a 1-for-1 attack. That didn't go well for the 8th British as we would hoped. Unfortunately, they're going to have to lose their armor in this attack, and we have to apply 1 here, and the sensible thing to do would be to back up and retreat, absorb it rather than taking the damage. This would allow us to advance. We shall. Well, and that becomes Eastern Front. OKH. The Eastern Front Germans. There's going to be a little bit of a weather roll for us here. 2 dice. 8. And it's 31 plus 8 would be 39. So this weather marker is going to go here, and it's going the furthest it can go. It can never go further than the highest on the initiative, as far as I remember from the rules. So, what are we going to do? First, we're going to see what's coming up in the draw. And this is actually a big draw, and you'll see why. Before we do, I'll explain. Well, if the worst comes to worst, it does not. Now, what I was worried about, as the German on the East Front, or controlled by the Westerners, is that one of these was going to be a deploy order for the Soviets. So the Germans on the East Front have a prayer. After all their disasters, we finally caught a break here. We're going to take a deploy order. We have one in the planning box. It's going to cost us 4 initiative. Yes, so things are going to go our way. We have 4 movement points to assign to basically everyone. It's universal infantry, armor, and fortress troops. Fort troops is what they're called, not fortress troops. That's an important distinction when you're reading the rules. But anyway, what it allows us to do is, in this case, for one,
just move everyone back a little. And because the Russian Soviets do not have a deployer, they are, at least in the semi-immediate future, they're not going to be able to move, even though they got all these attack orders over there. So we're in a lot better shape, and in fact, we're going to go ahead and move him. 4 movement, costs 2 to go over river, so it's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and take up this city. Now I do have contact with him, but he can't reinforce. He would have to go against us with just that, and yeah, go for it if you want to. Wouldn't be very smart. Up here, it's a little risky, but it's a city. I don't think he can. I don't think he would try it. And up further, I don't really see anything where he can really concentrate any kind of attack without any movement. He's going to have to readjust. So we're starting to form something resembling a southern front here. And that's going to be all we're going to do for the east front Germans. And there is an event card change. And thank goodness it has come for the east front Germans, the OKH, because finally this air superiority and this bonus die roll are going to go away. Wow. Okay, so up here, both of these come off the map. And now no one has air superiority. Oh, hey guys, I just caught an error. There is a die roll bonus from that battle we had with the Afrika Korps. Okay, well, I'm going to make a quick modification here. If you remember, in that battle between the 8th British and the Afrika Korps, we were on the 3 column and we rolled a modified 6, and the German was able to neglect 1 attack. However, we forgot about that event card bonus. It should have been a 7, which doesn't have that G note on it. He actually takes 2 full hits. So if we go over there, we were here, and he would have retreated, but he also loses his armor. This would flip to 2. That is a much better outcome. You gotta remember those little modifiers. It makes a difference. That is a huge difference. Well, I don't know, huge. It's significant. I'm glad I caught that as I was doing the card the cards here. Anyway, back on schedule here. This becomes the current event. And basically it's going to allow the Soviets to get an armor step and the Western reinforcements a choice of either armor or infantry. For the Soviets, there's a lot of good choices here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just beef him up a little. He's got an elite. Give him a little more punch there. So it's not just a 1 pipper. Oopsie, a little bit of a strategy gaff on my part here. Remember when I was here and I said, oh, he might try something clever. I'll just jump into these mountains where it's difficult terrain and he can't get me nya boo boo. But because it's difficult terrain, I can't trace supply out of here. So if I wanted to give a little more armor oomph to this unit, I can't do it. So I have to pick something else for armor. So I think I'm going to go ahead and re-armor my British 8th. And can I avoid the Navy, Italian Navy, or the submarines up in the North Atlantic? I'm going to show you the supply route we can take. Remember, it's a British unit. Africa is a British source. And you can go, although this, it's kind of nutty. But this part of Africa is considered into the North Atlantic. That would run us into the U-boats. But if we start from here, Africa, we can go to the Indian Ocean, and over here, Indian Ocean, you can see where we're clear. We control both the Suez here, we come through here, well, it doesn't matter which port we go into. By that time we go into the roads, we're on the road, and we're all the way over here, reinforced, and that's going to be that card. Now we're going to see what's coming up. And the answer is High Command. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Okay, we got error. However, the Germans have a bonus, and finally the Germans on both sides, both the Western and the OKH get it. 2 airplanes, one for the Russians, one for the Americans or Westerners. For the Soviets, I think I'll place them right there. Kind of give coverage down here and a little bit over here if we want to. For the Americans, right here. And this is an elite unit, which you can place as long as you have a non-elite unit on the map already. All this does is tiebreak. If the Germans had a plane here and I had a plane here, we would have air superiority. The Westerners would have air superiority. And once again, every faction is going to get a card draw. For the Westerners, Patton. For the Americans, a +2, +1. For the OKH, East Front Germans, Wolfpacks. Let me see this. For the OKW, the IKA run by the Soviets, we have the breakout order. Oh, that would have been much nicer for the for the OKH. Oh well, we might find a use for it. And finally, the Soviets get a card. They're going to pick partisan activity. So we're going to end it there. And join us next time, and it will be the Soviets' turn. Going to be a little interesting with them. They're not going to have the ability to move, so it may be that their campaign is a little stalled at the moment, which is probably fine by the East Front Germans. But tune in next time, and thanks for watching.